Welcome back. Welcome back to Two Guys, One Bike. No spaces, all spelled out, even numeral.
No spaces, all spelled
How do I always, because it's just like, when somebody's like, oh, what's your Instagram or like YouTube page that you're doing with your podcast? I'm like, oh, Two Guys, One Bike, no spaces, all spelled out.
Two guys, comma. What? On Instagram. Yeah, you're right. And on the whole thing.
I know I'm right. Thanks, Marson.
You're correct.
1 second, one more time.
Jacob Dahl is correct.
We're starting at Herd. I got an idea of what time it is. Welcome back. Last week was a really good one. I really enjoyed Fear last week.
I'm gonna focus.
Yeah, you are gonna focus on that.
I'm focused.
We had those 4 pillars. It was a good breakdown. I enjoyed a little bit of story, a little conversation. It was a good one last week. I really enjoyed how we went about it, and I'm excited for this topic. I'm excited for how excited you are on this topic.
I'm excited. The reason I'm excited is because you and I had such a good conversation yesterday about the topic, and we looked at each other and we said we need to have this conversation on the podcast because it's such a good, succulently juicy topic.
And the best part about like our conversations and those is it's so funny when even from like your wife to coworkers and other people, when they see how we speak to each other, it's when we get so we're so passionate, and yet they don't understand how much room we give each other to allow each other to be that passionate and understand that, because sometimes people get a little taken back and they kind of, now they falter. We need eye to eye, and we understand that there's zero attacking. It's straight just we're passionate about a conversation and our opinions, and we want to hear the other person out, and it's not that we want to overcrowd the other one. It's that we want to give a place where we can be heard. And today we're going to talk about what makes someone valuable. And we have views similar and different.
Yeah. Emphasis on different.
I'll let you take the ropes a little bit today.
Okay. Well, this whole conversation started because you said this person's friendship is valuable to me. And I asked why. And that was the spark.
Here's the thing.
Lit the whole conversation.
It starts off as like, well, it's because they have value.
Yeah.
And like, I enjoy that they bring value. And you're like, what value? I'm like, just, they're important to me. Why are they important?
I think it's important. I think that's an important question. And this is not something I've always thought. This is not a line of thinking I've always had. This is not a belief I've always had. This is not, for lack of a better term, a value that I've always had. It's over time as I've made changes to my own life. It's a viewpoint I've started to develop due to the fact that I'm headed in a direction. In order for me to stay in this direction, I want to surround myself with people that are not only going to help me go in this direction, but hone me in a way that will better prepare me for the direction that I am going.
And my battle with it, like my self battle, is understanding that these like last 2.5 months, I want that. And I've been seeing it, I've been tasting that, where prioritizing different things that are valued to me and people with the similar values. But it's hard because this entire process, I'm saying I don't want to lose myself in a sense.
Of course not.
And it's not that I'm not. It's that when it's funny because we'll have these conversations like about this party and this person. It's just like, why are they valuable? I'm like, well, it's because it's one like a long-lasting, the longest-lasting connection that we have, and my wife and I have, and settling in Fort Collins, this and that. Okay, but what do they bring to you? I'm like, but like that, like it's that I don't want to burn that bridge or lose that connection, but it's about understanding that I I'm filtering, seeing who's putting value in my life and what the value is. Now, is it that the form of value that they're giving me? It's still wonderful and beautiful, but is it bettering me?
Right. And here's another thing. Not every connection can be beneficial. Sometimes you're connected to an anchor or a rock or a parachute, and you're trying to sprint, and really all that connection is doing is holding you back rather than propelling you forward. Rather than being Santa Claus tied to all the reindeer, and you're Rudolph pulling the sleigh.
I like the parachute one because for me, I look at that and I go, well, I have this parachute, right? And I'm like, I love this and I appreciate it. You go, yeah, but you're trying to run with that. I go, yeah, but if I'm falling, it can still save me. It can still be there for me. He goes, but why do you need it in a process that you're running right now? The value of it is holding me back instead of saving me as I'm falling. Do you see what I'm saying? Is my view and value is I almost hold on to it too strong that it comes to hurt me sometimes in the value that I put on other people around me. And that's why that analogy, that kind of clicks for me when I think about that, because I want to hold on to this valuable thing, but even though it's valuable in one way to me, it still hurts me in others.
But even the parachute saving you while you're falling is not lifting you up. It's just slowing your fall. You're not holding on to a glider. You're not catching the wind and rising back up. You're just falling.
We're going to fall too deep. Everything has to fall. The glider will make it to the ground.
So look, here, let's start here. What is value? So when we originally had this conversation, you told me, well, their time is valuable to me. The value is the fact that they're just here. It's this connection that's valuable. Well, why is the connection valuable? So first, we have to decide together, for the sake of this debate, we have to define value, because if we don't have the same definition for value, then you and I are just going to be arguing fruitlessly. So what would you describe value as?
You first.
You want me to go first? You want me to go first? I would say value, if we're adding value to our lives or someone else's life, is a metric for improvement. It's if someone's adding value to me by spending time with that person, I am becoming a better version of myself, a version of myself that I would not be without that person. For example, a mentor adds value to my life. They provide skills and a way of learning, and pretty much they provide skills, they provide behaviors and a route for me to take to level up to a different person. If someone isn't doing that for me, they're not providing value. They're just there and we're enjoying each other's company, but they're not helping me evolve to another person. For example, my cousin's a fantastic photographer. If I wanted to become a great photographer, I would want to tutor under him, because he would be able to provide value for me to become an amazing photographer, because he's there. He can provide that value. But here's the caveat. I now have to provide some sort of value for him to take the time that is so valuable to him, because he's already an amazing photographer and he's already turned it into an amazing business, that his time is money. So he can't just take time out of his day to improve my life. What can I do for my cousin to make his life easier? Can I get his coffee? Can I be his caddy for all of his equipment and just carry his stuff around? Can I be a servant so that I can learn from you to level up my own life? So for me, a friend who adds value is somebody who's teaching me to become a better version of who I am. It's not just the time I'm spending, I'm learning.
Are you valuable to him then?
Because I'm a servant, yeah, because I'm getting him his coffee, because I'm providing, I'm taking away, I'm making it so he doesn't have to take time to do the insignificant things. Hey, I'm gonna do whatever you need me to do. You tell me what you need me to do, or instead of even asking him to tell me, I take the mental load off. He's gonna need coffee today. He's gonna need all of his appointments booked. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna do that for him, and then I'm gonna say, hey, I did all this for you. This is everything laid out. what would it take? Is there anything else I could do to earn your time to teach me, or can I just watch? Can I watch your work?
But for even you become valuable to just be taught as well, because teaching your practice also perfects your practice. So your value is the time that he gets to describe and teach the practice as well. That is also a form of value because he's gaining experience.
Yeah, maybe in a way. I'm talking once you've already when you've achieved a certain level of success, like he's already successful. He's already has his own business. He's taught himself all these things. Sure, he can teach me things, but that's not the same as, let's say he's taking an hour out of his day to teach me how to be a photographer.
So is it a small thing that you're saying that
it's less valuable than his time already is?
But then grabbing a coffee is so just as equally less. It's nothing.
Let's say it takes him 20 minutes to go grab a coffee and 20 minutes to come back. That's 40 minutes that he could spend photographing somebody that would earn him thousands of dollars.
Sure.
So his time is valuable.
So what you're trying to say in a gist is what makes someone valuable in a sense of you find value in people who are bettering you,
mm-hmm.
people who are excelling you into the next route. Where I kind of find value as well, because it's hard because I think I just want to get across to you the beauty of like the little things that are still so potently valuable. Because let's just say there's like an artifact or a family thing that's so valuable to someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
To you, it's dirt, it's nothing, but to them, it's just the most precious thing in the world that's been passed down from generations to generations. That's
sentimental value.
Exactly. That's why I'm trying to switch my mind
mm-hmm.
into what makes someone valuable. Because I think during yesterday's conversation, I won't even get into that. It was a good conversation. We're just getting so specific today. What makes someone valuable? I think that's the value from somebody is life experiences. We're going through life for the first time, and everyone has something else to bring.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everyone has a value to bring. Now, if they are not doing the best to better themselves,
mm-hmm.
that does not mean that they still can't bring a value to my individual self. And I think that's the conversation is there's a line
mm-hmm.
where if they don't bring all of it,
mm-hmm.
the one value that they can benefit me
mm-hmm.
is just washed away from the way that you are looking at it, from the way that we've been talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what I want is to get across that life is so precious that one little value that it has brought to me,
mm-hmm.
I still want that person or that time in my life.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'll stop. I want you to know I'm listening.
I know, I know you're listening. Yeah, but basically, as this conversation goes on, I will be able to say more. It's that at the beginning, I just think that little values from people who don't bring a significant amount of benefit into bettering me are still valuable. That's what I want to say.
That's
at
fair.
The start.
Well, so I think what gets lost in translation is that based on what I'm saying, it's this person, oh, you're not valuable because you're not bettering me. That's not what I'm saying. It starts with understanding what direction you're headed in.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to accomplish? If I want to be the greatest sketch artist, okay, somebody teaching me how to be a great photographer is not valuable. Even though that person has a very valuable insight, it's not valuable to me. I want to be the world's greatest sketch artist. So therefore, I need to find people that are going to help me become the world's greatest sketch artist. I have to surround myself with people that are going to better me in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
So for you specifically, you're telling me that every little piece of value and insight that somebody's had from their life experience is valuable. And I can agree with that. You can learn something from everybody. But how important is that piece of information that I'm going to learn for where I'm going?
And I think that's the problem is it's this entire process of bettering ourselves that I've had to go through
mm-hmm.
is shedding so many different layers and skins. And one of mine is accepting That yes, I can hold that passion of they bring value to me, but how much value? And that's what you're trying to get across. It's with all the goals and this one life that we get to live. It's not that they're anchoring me. It's that look how much farther and greater I can be if I did hone in on the ones who bring the most value to my life. Because otherwise it's taking emotion, it's taking sleep, it's taking time, it's taking discipline away, it's taking little bits here and there, and it does make a big difference in the long run for the successes you have in your life.
Yeah, I just think it's important. It's tough because a lot of the time people will hear this, or they listen, or they look from the outside, and the big question is why, or that's too much, or that's too intense, but those people, there's no pursuit. There's no. I'm not saying like you very much enjoy spending time with people. You like those connections.
And that's why I almost get defensive in this conversation, because we can talk about different parties, and I have so much passion and love for all my people, and I'll always find the greatest value. And it's hard because I have that Mother Nature energy of like, and if anything, I'm almost being a mama bird and I'm making excuses for them. And if I really want to be their friend and I really want to see them level up, I should be more verbal. Yeah. But it's also the dialogue and the approach, how we speak to these people. And that's why, like, what we've been doing right now, we haven't been speaking. We've just been shining. Our actions have been speaking so loud that we don't have to say some of the things to the people around us. And it's bringing people into our lives who have a lot of value, who've earned their value, who have been in our position, and then see the bright side of what we've been doing.
Right.
And so that's the hard part, is my growth right now is seen for what they really are, the connections I have around me.
Yeah.
And it's hard because I'm such a lover, man. I'm such a dad.
You can love. Well, here's the thing, though, is that I sometimes feel that you prioritize your being such a lover over, well, this is a direction I want to head in.
It's because I'd rather, if we're going through this life, and this is also the excuses that other people that we're talking about sometimes make, is the emotion of love. Like, why would I not want to live my entire life surrounded around the emotion of love? And if I only have that, I'm not truly living. Just like how we talked about last week, fear is so important. All the emotions are important. I should feel love, but I'm not going to have the true value for myself and find the true sense of value of everyone else around me if I don't feel little.
How strong is your love for Megan?
Yeah.
You guys, heaven forbid if anything happens, but, life, you guys plan to be together forever, right?
Yes.
You will forever be surrounded by love.
Yes.
You don't need the excess.
Yes.
Now, wanting more is okay.
Yeah. Well, that's the growth I'm in, is through so much loss, through so much hardship. I think I've defended myself with love, and that's why when we got to this conversation yesterday, it's not that you were talking bad about someone, it's that we guide each other on our opinions to let each other see the other person, because we're looking out for the other person.
Yeah.
And we don't know that at the time. That's why people are like, you talk so intensely to each other. It's because we're here to finish it out. We're not here to cut it short. We're here because it's like when people see, like, I have arguments with my wife because I want to find solutions. I don't want to just walk around and beat around the bush and like have this energy around us. You have to have the hard conversations. And we have hard conversations, and we allow each other to hear what the other person's saying, because the other person's looking out for the other one. And that's what this entire conversation turned into yesterday and now to today. So as we're talking about what makes someone valuable, how do we increase our value? Now that we understand, we taste value, what does somebody have to do to increase it?
I think the first step, so from, let's just say, how do if I'm your friend, how do I increase my value to you? All right, and let's just say we're equal. So I think the first step is understanding who you are as a person. What do you excel at? What are you weak at? Where are you trying to go? What are you trying to accomplish? You get as good at those things as you possibly can, and then you become as honest as you possibly can with the other person. When you mess up, my job as your friend is to tell you messed up and how I think you can improve.
My job is to acknowledge it.
Your job is to acknowledge it, and your job when I mess up, because it's inevitable, is to do the same for me, just like you do with your wife and I do with my wife. But it takes a certain level of intensity and dedication to the fact that, hey, sometimes we're going to hurt each other's feelings. It's not because of dislike. It's just because you told me you wanted to accomplish something, and I'm seeing you not do the thing that you told me you were going to do. So as your friend, hey, you said you were going to do this thing, and now you're over here doing this. What's up? It's accountability. I'm holding you accountable. It's the whole point of an accountability partner. It's the whole point of having a coach, a mentor. They help guide and hold you accountable. You and I help guide and hold each other accountable. If you have a friend that can't look you in the eye and tell you that they think you did something poorly, that they don't like that you did something, and they just keep it to themselves and let it fester, what value are they adding other than the fact that they're just there? Oh, we're friends. Okay. And
that's like, I've been putting on the filtration goggles. I've been filtering out what is a friend, what is the value, and how do I increase it. I've never thought about increasing my value as much as I had until we started doing what we do right now. And you're completely right. It's just, it all starts with talking to yourself and acknowledging your strengths and weaknesses. And like we said, processes before, writing down all of these walls and all of these goals, and then having each other around. I would not be able to do what I did without having my accountability partner between you and I, with our health and fitness, my wife, and being a husband. It's just little building blocks. It takes time.
Yeah, no, it does take a lot of time. And that's what I mean, is that I haven't been like this always. This is recent, over the past year to two.
Well, you had to hit a little bottom.
Yeah. I mean, I spent, you know how many times the people closest to me were like, dude, you spend way too much time on the computer. Hey, what happened to your productivity? Where you just do this and then you work out. And, I didn't listen. It takes time. I'm not saying people can just change.
Nobody can tell you. You have to tell yourself.
Right. But now that this is how I think, that's why I behave the way I behave now, because I don't want to take that step backwards, because who I was then was different. In order for me to change into this person, I had to sacrifice that person. I can no longer sit on the computer and play video games, because that was a different person. This new me writes. This new me wants to spend time with someone like you. This new me wants to prioritize my marriage. This new me wants to really prioritize my fitness and not quit. This new me wants to make sure I'm not a quitter, that I don't just pick up a project and drop it, because old me did that always. I would start something, get really excited, stop it. I wouldn't solve the problem. I would just move on to something else. So new me, even though I still have those urges, I can't give into those urges. I have to, even though I'm not a planner, you can ask anyone that's grown up with me, I don't plan. I am not organized. I am not someone who naturally sticks to a strict schedule. I would much rather just do what I want to do, but because that's my tendency, I have to put conscious effort into doing the opposite. If I don't get up at a certain time to get my writing done, it won't get done.
Through consistency.
Yes, through consistency. So what I need, though, are people that are going to hold me, that are going to encourage that. But what I see nowadays in people around me is they push people away that encourage that because it's uncomfortable. So when I ask, well, how come that person adds value or that person's valuable? How? What do they do that's allowing you to evolve to a new person? Or are they just fun to be around?
Or are they doing the same?
Yeah. Or are you the one?
Are they doing the same thing that you don't want to be doing, and you find a sense of relaxation because
it's comfortable.
You don't hear you're comfortable. You don't hear the voice in your head saying, "I shouldn't be drinking right now." But you're with person A, and person A drinks with me, and then we go and do our own thing, and we never hang out and do anything productive to better each other. We just go hang out in bars or brunch or drinks around the river. It's like. It's just crazy, man. Like, we go out with a bunch of friends, and we go up to the river the other week, and we're laying out there, and it's just like we're going to the river, and the river is pushing against us, and we're going up current. I'm like, we could swim up this and get a workout. And it's just like fun little things where I look at it, and I'm like, wow, I could have been really out of breath if I hadn't been working my body the way I have at this point. But now I've had accountability. I've had people around me that with the same kind of values, and that's what's valuable to me. And now I'm doing this, and it's not in a sense of, oh, I'm going to go get a workout. And I'm in a physical shape where I can swim against the current and stay in the same position and not be faltered backwards. And that's cool, man. It's just, I'm living in this body.
Yeah.
Like, we're in the middle of this bowl in this beautiful natural area, and around people with the same values and virtues pretty much, or the main ones, and then everyone around us are people who've been seeing what we become, seeing how our values made us so valuable. I don't know. It's just cool, man. Life has just been so cool with how we've been leveling up through consistency, through accountability, through communication. My communication skills. I used to always be the nice guy, kind of beat around the bush. Now, the way that you've taught me, it's not that you don't believe what I'm saying. You just want me to explain why I feel the way I feel. And sometimes I hit walls and I go, well, I don't know. I don't know why I've been doing that. I don't know why I've been feeling that way. I don't know why I've been loving that way. I'm like, I should go talk to myself. I should go journal. Or now I have conversations with my wife. I'm like, wow, maybe it's not that it was intense and she was mad. Maybe it's that we just need to wring out this entire rag, get to the bottom of what we've been trying to talk about, and now it's a healthier relationship. Values.
Well, also, how many moments are there where somebody feels something negative in response to something you did and didn't tell you? How many moments does Megan feel something but not tell you, and then it comes out in a different aggressive way? So the value is a relationship where the moment you feel a certain way, you voice the moment. Hey, I didn't like that you did that. I had the moment today in the garage when the barbell got slammed down, and there was a point where I was like, I'll just let it go. And then I said, no. Remember, you're working on honesty, voicing how you feel.
I never would have known it. And
exactly.
And
you wouldn't have known. And then what happens is it builds and builds and builds until eventually you do something where then that week of slamming the bar comes out in a big FU to something that wasn't that big of a deal. Because I didn't feel confident enough to voice how I felt in that moment. That's the friendship that I want to build. But that's not a friendship that I have with everybody. It's you and Shelby. Because if you do that to somebody who's not prepared for that level, they shut down and run. And then that person to me is no longer valuable.
That's what I was
for
saying,
my time.
I was like just having conversations about other people when they talk about your intensity, and like I feel like I have like all of these little warrior pieces, and I'm like playing a game of chess. I'm like, I know, but he's really nice, but he's a dick. Yeah, he's a dick, but you gotta look past it. It's just like
Well, people hear something they don't want to hear, and their immediate response is, you're an asshole. Or, I said something you didn't like.
I think that's the biggest thing that I've been gaining out of value, where how do I increase my own value? I've been increasing it through filtering out how people talk to me. Because I'm so emotional, I hold so much so much weight, and I think that their tone is their intentions and directions, but it's not. It's like you said, bottled up, pent up times that they did not speak up, and then suddenly out of nowhere, one little theme turns into it, and they throw all this energy, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. Instead, now I hear it and I go, what's wrong?
Yeah.
What are you trying to have me hear? What are your intentions with these emotions? What brought us to the situation? And I think that's something I've been increasing myself through experience, is having this more psychological communication with myself to not let everyone else's emotions affect me so much.
Yeah. And what's also very interesting is in every other aspect of life, value is applied, except friendship. In most cases, work, your shifts are delegated or given to you based on the value that you provide the restaurant. How much can you get done? How much side work are you doing? How well are you selling? How's your customer service? Not, oh, I just like being around you, so you get this shift. Sports teams, any sort of team, your playing time is dictated by the value that you bring to the team. Not because, I mean, most cases, most cases.
Or in your hometown where people have a lot of money and their family pays a lot of money for your sport.
Well, now the value is that value to the coach is greater than your performance. They are donating thousands of dollars.
That's what happened at my rich high school, man. It's just crazy.
It's sad.
Money is a powerful thing.
Your value, if you want to get somebody extremely successful to mentor you, you have to be able to provide a value that they don't have. How do I generate a value that is equal to the time that you're going to give me? They're not just going to do it for you. A billionaire isn't just going to be like, yeah, let me teach you. What can you provide to that person to be valuable? What can you provide me as a friend to make spending time with you worth my time? Because, and the reason that's even a question is because I now value my time way more than I used to. I didn't used to not even think about it. I would just sit in front of the computer and play video games. I didn't value my time.
Well, I mean, we told ourselves, like, I value this time. I enjoy this time in front of the video games. And it's not like I didn't. It's that I was lying to myself about what my soul, who I wanted to be.
Yeah.
What is really valuable. Because I have some friends who are on Twitch, and their time, there's difference of sitting down and just playing video games and having a stagnant body or not moving and eating unhealthy, and then there's people who are like, I'm a businessman or woman
making hundreds of thousands
and
of dollars.
I prioritize, I read, I journal, I play my 8 hours of video games, I do my editing, and I make $120,000 a year.
It's a business now.
It's a business now. There's a difference of value.
Yeah.
And I think that's important because not everyone has the same experience on the same side of the coin. Like, it's just...
It's also very easy. I know from experience how easy it is just to... It's so comfortable. And it's just one game to the next, one game to the next, one game to the next. And you know what I would tell myself? I'm scratching my competitive itch. I would say it all the time. I'm competitive. You know, another way to scratch my competitive itch is to submit a fully finished book and come out published. Because I know that I have taken a step forward and I'm competing against every other person out there trying to become a published author. But that's scary. You want to know why? Because I'm going to fail. And people are going to write me notes saying, no, this is not for us. I'm going to get a bunch of declines, a bunch of rejections. I'm going to be rejected a lot. And that's going to be scary. But I have to grow comfortable with that failure rather than being comfortable sitting in front of a computer. I have to get comfortable with the knowledge that, hey, in order for me to succeed, I'm going to have to fail. And I'm going to have to seek failure. And that's scary. It's scary. It's scary to sit down with yourself in front of a mirror and acknowledge everything you suck at.
Accountability mirror.
And it's scary. It's scary to take full responsibility for everything that happens to you in life. It's something that I'm working on. I still struggle with. When something happens, a lot of the first response is, oh yeah, I did. No, you're right. That's my fault. It's my fault. That's my bad. There's, how many people just give a reason? It's my bad. I should have done that. It's so much easier to take the other path. And I know because I used to do it all the time, and it's still a conscious effort not to do it.
That's the craziest part is that through these practices, through trying to gain the most valuable edge sort of like who we are, I love my off days.
Yeah.
I love those video games, but it's just now they have more value to me. Because I prioritized time away from it to value who I am, to value what I want to be as a human in this life. And then like yesterday or 2 days ago, I played video games for like 4.5 hours with my boys.
Yeah.
Like, where have you been? It's like, we haven't heard from you in like 4 weeks. I'm just like, I've been prioritizing my values.
And that was probably great playing that game.
Oh, I had so
That's
much
what
fun.
I mean. But a lot of people see what's going on and they say, oh, you guys don't have any fun anymore. No, that is not the case. I also prioritize my off time. Everything's prioritized. So during those 5 days where we're hitting it hard, working on videos, trying to create a podcast, doing crazy workouts, I look forward to the day where I get to sit on the couch, hang out with my wife, eat some pizza, and just watch a great TV show. It's valuable to me because now I can decompress, relax, just chill. That downtime is valuable. It does not mean I'm enjoying life. It means that life is so much sweeter because I'm prioritizing the things that are important rather than just bathing in a vat of comfort.
Yeah, like my wife and I, we've created such a routine where Tuesdays through Saturdays, well, Tuesday through Friday, it's like straight like business. Like she's got her adulting, I got my adulting. We make sure we prioritize our morning walks. We acknowledge what we're doing, see where we are on a mental scale. We have communication. We talk through the days, but we have opposite schedules. And then Saturdays, we always prioritize the farmer's market. That's beautiful, wonderful time. But what I'm saying is, she's also someone with such great value in my life because we have an understanding that we're grinding for these days. And then when Sunday and Monday come around, we go camping, we go hiking, we go fly fishing, we just do other activities that still are benefiting us so much. We sit down and watch Love is Blind and craft all day. I watch Love is Blind, yeah.
I guess I do.
Yes, I do. And Love Island, USA. UK is better, but USA is great this year. Yeah, but that's why it's just crazy finding someone on the same... Everyone who I have in my foxhole right now has the same growth and increase in their own values while also supporting my values. And it's just... I feel like I'm just chinking armor every week. And then we're working right now. We're talking about I'm the sheath and you're the sword. And I'm the calm, loving patient, and you're the intense, driven, supportive asshole.
I would say, so here's the thing with being the katana and you being the sheath, is what you're really good at in those moments of heated discussion is bringing it down and not letting the emotion completely get the best of you. I'm a much more volatile, emotional person when the anger comes out. That's why I have to really push down on it. But the value you've given me is you've helped me create a sheath for the katana that I could, so when I'm feeling it, I can put it away. Whereas for the longest time I couldn't, and I would hurt feelings. And that's the value. That's what you've taught me.
Well, I'm sharpening a brand new sword and understanding that I have the power, not necessarily... I have the power to speak my own voice and not let people walk over me, and I have the power to now understand that attacking is not a bad thing. Striving for my goals and what I want is absolutely beautiful. I've been the medic. I've been the background. I've been the soft soul for too long.
But
time to get hard.
And it's not even necessarily attacking. So that's the weakness on my side, is like the attack. Because I'm upset, I'm going to attack you rather than being
defending
able to
myself.
Strongly just voice your feeling.
Defend.
I don't have to belittle you. I just have to explain to you, hey, look, this is why I don't like this. This is what you did that upsets me. But that directness to people comes off as being an asshole. How dare you tell me what you're thinking? How dare you tell me that that's my fault. How dare you? How like
Opposite opinions.
You know, how dare you say, you know, or when people.
Find your train of thought. What are you trying to say?
Yeah. I'm just saying you've taught me that you don't have like I've developed a way to better handle the emotional response after spending more time with you, and then you've developed a way to better stand up for your emotions rather than just sit back and let people walk over you.
So here's my question. So we kind of talked about what it is, what makes a valuable friend.
Yeah.
Somebody who's kind of striving for same goals, same intentions, somebody who's supporting you, somebody who goes, this is your goal, I want to make sure you get to that goal.
I don't even think it has to be the same. It just you just have to be somebody. So a valuable friend to me is someone when I wake up, I'm going to write today because I know Jacob, he's doing some art today. I know Jacob's getting after it today. I'm going to get after it today. If I know you're sleeping in until 2 p.m., where's the push?
Dude, I slept until 9:15 the other day, 9:17.
Probably felt great.
Yeah, I was,
you know. And then people will say, "Well, why am I your push?" And it's not necessarily that you're the motivation. It's I know there's somebody out there that's going to the gym at the same time. I'm gonna get my butt there and I'm gonna get it done.
Well, it's just
I
like
know somebody you're pursuing your dream. I'm gonna get after mine. It's not that I need you to do that. It's I'm gonna make a point of spending time with you because I know that together we're gonna grow together. Just like with my wife, we grow together. She can pursue her own dream. She doesn't want to write. Maybe she wants to do this. Great, but it's still that drive, that shared drive of, oh, we're doing this together. You're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you spend the most time with 4 other people or 5 people that just sleep all day, drink at night, and work, what are you going to be?
And that was my thing. It's not necessarily a problem. My thing was I had my core 5, but I also had 15 other.
That influence.
Yeah, and that I allowed to have weight on me and be influenced. And that was the thing. It's not that any of them are bad people. It's that spreading that to so many others, the 5 who earned it, deserve it, and are probably not giving it out to as many people as I am, and I'm in their one small 5-person group.
Not probably, or not.
Yeah, it was not necessarily unfair to them, but I understood the value of them above others. And it's such a breath of fresh air, only giving almost everything to them instead of spreading out to so many other people. So then from talking about valued friends is important. Are there unvaluable friends?
Yes.
I was waiting for it. This is our conclusion topic. This is where it gets good. Tell me, Marston, are there unvaluable friends?
Absolutely. People that don't provide any insight or value.
But there's still value in them.
Not to where I'm going.
I know. I just cannot. I cannot hold on my chest. I cannot look at somebody and say they are unvaluable as a friend because there is at least a 1% ounce of value. I think I want to say it almost as just a human thing or maybe just a kindness. That's where I want to be heard. And like you're going to say, yes, of course, I understand they have value.
Yeah, their life has value.
Go.
Being around me was less valuable 3 years ago. What value did I provide? I could teach you how to play a video game. I could show you how to work out a little bit. But how I led my life was no example.
Did you lose friends during that time?
Well, here's the difference is that I've constantly gone to boarding school. And one of my faults is I'm not very good I'm not good at maintaining communication with people after I've moved to a new place. So the friends drop. If you don't make an effort, of course you're going to lose friends because we're no longer talking. You become new people, and those new people are not friends. Sure, you have memories with the old version, but if I haven't talked to somebody in 4 years, are we friends? If they've become somebody new, yeah, we could get together and reminisce on old times. But I don't know what you've gone through for 4 years. I haven't been there. It doesn't mean... So here's where the whole, like, well, what's a friend concept comes into play. Sure, we're friends, but I don't know you that well because I haven't talked to you.
But I think it's just... There's something beautiful with connections in the world where there's so many millions and millions and millions of people, and having many life events or consistently like seeing each other in your life, I think that's such a valuable thing from a human to a human.
Mm-hmm.
And so even if they don't bring
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. For example, if I wanted to go visit and stay, I could. Mm-hmm. And I could do that. What I'm saying though is that deep, thick connection where you just know that person. Like the way you know Megan and the way I know Shelby. You know that person down to a level that nobody else knows. That's the level I'm talking about of a connection. Not just we went to high school together. We had an amazing time and we were best friends at that time. We knew each other at that time, but it's been 5 years. You don't know the person the same way. It's all surface level conversation. It's all memory talk. It's not, oh, dude, what you did yesterday was crazy. Remember that time when we were doing that thing and it was so funny? Yeah, it was great. Oh, you want to get a bite to eat? Yeah, you remember that time? You remember that time? Not, dude, tell me about what you've gone through this past 5 years. What's the one thing that tore you up? It's surface level because you're different people. Mm-hmm. You become a new person cellularly every 5 years anyway.
Well, I think that's why it's just where I have trouble is I'm the type of person who, that same person that you'd say reminiscing on past events and grabbing a bite to eat, this or that, I can still, the ones that I go to and I visit, I can still have that conversation of so who are you right now and who are you right now, because there's...
But then somebody also shows you who they are when they threaten to stab your dog.
You're right. Because that was in the back of my head too. I'm like, damn, that's the thing.
You weren't ready for that?
No, because we change every 5 years, the entire cells of our body, and then you have life experiences.
Oh, dude, I didn't mean it. It's a cool if you just threatened to kill my dog. Mm-hmm. You and him probably shared a bunch of memories. Well, now he just threatened to kill your dog.
Life.
So when I say someone's... It's tough because, yes, you're coming at it from a very humanitarian sort of way of dude, how can you say somebody doesn't have value? And that's not what I'm saying. Everybody can provide insight into their own life because everybody's lived their own life and they've learned things and they've learned lessons that they could teach you if they wanted. Where are you going and what value does that person provide for that?
That's why it's it makes me reflect so much on friends who I have around the US and the world, and I want to go see them so bad. Mm-hmm. But then it's also what am I going to get out of it? There's one friend who I'm going to go see so bad because there's multiple. I hate name dropping, but I also love name dropping.
Name drop.
I don't want to name drop.
No one cares.
But I also, I love it because I like making sure people understand how passionately I love them and everything.
Uh-huh.
So, but
call them after this and tell
them. You're right. But it just makes me think about some of these people who I would go visit. What value do they bring to me now? And what the process of where I'm going through with my life and how they're changing. It's crazy because we have these conversations and
also what value are you bringing them if you haven't really talked to them.
I just get stumped sometimes because I'm all of this fuel of love that I've been telling myself. I'm in such a transition period in my life as such a young man, and it's so cool having these hard conversations and allowing my brain to literally hit walls. Mm-hmm. And then I have to literally lay in this puddle, this sadness of, but I want it to be fueled this way with love and this understanding, but the world doesn't work like that, and your success doesn't work like that, and it's just a hard reality values that I'm starting to understand and accept. And I thought I understood so much hard values and experiences in the world, but
I think it's because it goes against something that you've identified as for so long as a big.
It goes
lover.
against something as that I have identified myself as. Yes,
it's a shock to the system. That's why it's so important to constantly be talking to ourselves about who we are. Mm-hmm. What do we believe?
And
why do we
these
believe
conversations and friends that push us to these walls in our mind? Otherwise, we're so stagnant.
Yeah, and you're not giving excuses. Mm-hmm. So when you tell me, Marston, dude, that wasn't the right way to say that. You handled that incorrectly. That was mean, and you hurt that person. You should apologize. Yeah, you're right. That was poor. Let me go fix that. I'm going to apologize. rather than, well, dude, did you like see like what he said? Did you see like the way he talked to me and his eyes and just, I mean, it's not my fault that, I mean, he said it.
Controlling your emotional.
Take responsibility for the fact that you messed up and the fact that you're not taking control of your own life. Like I wasted years on a game.
Well, and then when you speak to yourself like that and take responsibility,
yeah,
you break the habit faster.
Yeah, why are you talking about yourself like that? It's true. It's true, and I had people tell me that. The same cousin that's an amazing photographer was like, why are you spending all this time on this game when you could, it's a year of your life, you could be dedicated to learning a skill, and you didn't do it. I like the game. Okay, great. I'm going off to do this. And now look, he's successful, owns his own business, doing his great thing, and, you know, yeah, that was my fault. I did that.
But you needed to go through it.
Yeah, of course. And that's another lesson I've learned is that I can't force people to see the mistakes. Mm-hmm. Just like no one could force me to see the mistakes. Mm-hmm. You have to go through it, and that's a lesson I'm personally going through right now with people around me. Is I can't force the change. I'm just gonna focus on me, like you've taught me. Focus on myself, and I'm gonna surround myself with people that are already doing what I want to do.
Well, that's like when I was talking about with parenting. It's like how I am with my friends, and I'm learning not to be that way as much with my friends. When a parent, so I'm connecting how in life you have to go through the hardships to understand it, and now we're past some of these hardships, and now we're looking at people who are in the midst of it, and it's like, damn, you're gonna have to fall and scrape your legs and go through yourself. I look at with parenting where when their trauma is passed down to us as kids, they don't, if they just teach you how to defend yourself against the trauma instead of defeating the trauma. And that's what I'm doing to some of my friends. I'm almost defending them because I'm like, I'm so sorry you're going through this right now. I'm so sorry you're hurting. Like, I've been through that. I don't want them to feel this pain. Yeah. Instead, I have to be the best friend, I have to have the harder conversations.
And that's a great point, because what it addresses is that as kids, we are conditioned to be children and think that other people are there to take care of us. Mm-hmm. And there are 40-year-olds who are still kids, blaming everything else and expecting other people to take care of them. Why isn't the government paying me more? Why am I getting taxed so much? Why am I not making, this company should give me a raise. Rather than owning, I need to go make more money. I need to earn the raise. I need to, things are always going to cost a certain amount. Find a way to get around it. Take responsibility. That's the difference between the adult and the kid.
Play in the dirt, man.
The adult is responsible for their own life. They've taken full responsibility, and it's scary because now all your failures are because of you. You did it. Nobody else did it to you. Yeah, but my childhood was so hard.
Yeah, and if you start talking to yourself later in life, you got a lot more baggage to unpack if you started now.
But if you never unpack the bags, guess what? You're never going to move in. Mm-hmm. You know, it sucks and sounds insensitive, but it's true. You have to eventually take responsibility. So somebody who hasn't taken responsibility for their own life is still mentally a child. How is that child going to add value to me when I'm trying to be a grown-ass adult? Because in the end, all I'm going to do is take care of them. So in the end, all you're doing is being the person taking care of the kid. Mm-hmm.
That's why it's like, for my self-growth, it's understanding that I can't always be there for the people that I love as bandaging them and holding them. It's that I understand that through my experience, I got where I have from gritting, from feeling the pain, from acknowledging the pain, and then moving past the pain. Mm-hmm. And if I don't let them go through those emotions, they're never gonna heal or grow the way that I want them to.
Right.
And so that's my growth, taking steps back. And if I take a couple steps back from people in my life and they can't figure it out at this moment in time, it's hard, but I need to let some of those connections go. And then whenever on their own path, find it and they grit it and they come back, we'll have a really good conversation.
Yeah. Or let's say you value someone's friendship. The you that really values just that connection. let's say deep down you're like, hey, I know this person isn't providing what we're talking about, but I want this person to do this. I'm going to tell them what I expect, why I expect it, and how we can grow together. Give them the opportunity to take the step. And then if you get the response of like, well, I'm not ready, I just want to enjoy my life. Okay, I tried. I'm going this way. Okay, well, I'm going to go this way. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same. That's why I get so passionate when I hear. It's the difference between if you're my coach and I'm not playing and I go home, coach isn't playing me. Oh, I know, so I'm sorry about it. It's okay. You'll get playing time. Coach, what can I do to earn the playing time?
And I reflect that, dude. I had really bad. Yeah, we'll go into that another day. I want to talk about my past mental notes and reflections of how I handled with coaching and everything. And
well, I did it poorly too. I wasted so much time in a sea of self-pity of just, I don't feel like I'm good enough. Like, you know, Anna described an imposter syndrome to me. That's how I felt a lot of the time as a kid. I didn't have the confidence. All right, but confidence comes with taking responsibility, and I didn't take responsibility. Once I started taking responsibility for why I was, why I was doing what I was doing, or why I wasn't playing, and unfortunately it came later. I realized it later. Oh, I wasn't putting in the effort. I wasn't putting in the time. I prioritized the wrong things, and I didn't play, and that's why. And it wasn't until I really started prioritizing the practice time, I really started taking responsibility for the fact that I'm responsible for how good I am, and it's not just going to be given to me, that things really started clicking into place. It's my fault that all those things happened to me. And at the time when you're a kid, it doesn't feel like that. When you look back, it is your fault. You could have done other things. Yeah, life is always going to be unfair. People are always going to treat you certain ways. There will always be obstacles, but the person that takes responsibility is able to handle those obstacles better. A professional athlete is going to make mistakes. People in the Olympics still slip, but you want to know how fast they get over it? Milliseconds. An Olympic athlete who slips, milliseconds, and they're right back into their routine. There are still grown-ass adults today that will make a mistake, and they will think about it for months, and it will influence their behavior and how they treat the people around them for months. People that hold grudges for months. Dude, just go talk to the person that you're upset with. I don't want to. Okay, and you're still a kid. You can't even have a conversation with the person? You know, take responsibility for it. No, they hurt my feelings. All right, 12-year-old, whatever you say. You know, like...
This is passion, by the way. Not
It is what it is. And that's what's...
I love the quote that you said. Confidence takes responsibility. Confidence takes responsibility. Thinking about how it's, if somebody wants to gain confidence in themselves, in the job that they're doing, take responsibility. Take responsibility of the wins, take responsibility of the losses, take responsibility of why I got broke back down to here, how this happened today, I wasn't taking care of this, I wasn't doing that. Yeah, I like that quote. It resonated really well.
Yeah. And it's something it took a while to learn. I didn't always think that. I learned. How did I learn? Well, I started surrounding myself with people giving speeches about things I want to learn. I start watching people that are doing what I want to do. And you learn to do those things because you're adding value to your life. And once you add value to who you are and you're taking responsibility for the direction your life is headed, you can then add that value to somebody else. You can add that value to me, but if it's constantly just, let me help you up. Let me help you up. Let me help you up. And that's all. That's it. Why am I doing that?
Well, that's hard.
If I wanted a kid, I'll go adopt one.
Then that's what we were saying before. It's the hard part for me is understanding that sometimes I need to I can't cradle them. And I want to cradle them and I want to be there for them, but I have to let them go through the hardship. So sometimes steps away, and then when they kind of find themselves and they grit through it and they come back, I go, hey, look where I am now as well. Like, I don't know, but you have any... You got the mic, man. This is your passion story. What is your conclusion on what makes someone valuable?
Well, I don't want to repeat everything I said in the beginning. The reason I find this a good topic to talk about is because I know I know, even though you've added value to my life, I know that the way you see it is so different with the people around you, which is why I want to have the conversation. I want to talk to people that don't think the same way I think. All right. And I like to debate it because I enjoy the conversation. I want to feel the friction. Just like something my cousin and I used to do. At the time, I was way more far left. He was way more far right. We would argue all the time. That doesn't mean I love him any less. I wanted to talk. I wanted to hear it out. I was more immature at the time and sometimes wouldn't have the greatest arguments, and I wouldn't handle it well. But I still learn from the experience, and I constantly want that. I constantly want to get better at articulating my thoughts. And it's that drive that I know you share of wanting to better yourself. And that's why I like spending so much time with you, because you want to better yourself too. And even though you might be going in a different direction with the bettering yourself, it doesn't mean you have to think like I think, or I have to think like you think. This is what I believe. And if you believe something differently, I want to hear it, but I also want to know why. I hate when people can't tell me why.
That's how I grow. I grow because you make me describe it. And sometimes but I feel it. So tell me, why are you feeling that way? And then sometimes I can't even find a conclusion. I have to go, why am I feeling this way? I can't I'm just feeling this emotion. That's where I'm starting to grow in value, is just through self-conversations. I like the two sides of a coin concept, where if there's some way to grow in value that I could give to somebody else, every situation that you go through, see the other side. Mm-hmm. See the other side, understand the other side, even if it's against your values. If you cannot hone it and own it, then how can you make a real decision on what is right and what is wrong? And so to grow in value, in my opinion, that somebody could work on is just always having the vision of the yin and yang of every decision.
And that's a really good point. And that's something I have to work on, is actively listening to the other side without having an argument ready, but actively listening and trying to understand, okay, this is where that person is coming from. It doesn't necessarily mean I have to agree, but I have to take the time to understand,
practice,
why that person believes the way they do. But what drives me crazy is when you ask why and there is no reason, or there's an excuse, and it's not an acknowledgement of I don't want to. It's always, I can do that later, or I forget the word, but it's a constant. Eventually, I'll do that. Eventually, I'll never when, and it's never. Yeah, you're right. I'm not in the mental state to prioritize that right now, and I don't want to. But that also takes a level of self-acknowledgement or self-knowledge that takes time.
100%.
And it's hard. But I do to kind of put a cap on it, I do think that all life is valuable, but what you do with your life, how you spend your time, increases said value to the people around you. And if you can't increase your own value, how are you going to provide value to somebody else? Just like if I can't love myself, how am I going to effectively love somebody else? How am I going to teach them or help guide, or how are they going to teach me to be better in certain aspects? That's why Shelby and I are always having conversations of like, hey, I don't think you're doing this right. This is why I don't think you're doing this right. What do you think I'm not doing right? And you go from there. But if you can't look your partner in the eye and be like, I don't think you're good at this. And the reason I don't think you're good at this is because you've been wasting time doing this. Just like Shelby. Marcin, you're not going to accomplish any of these goals if you sit in front of this computer screen and play League of Legends for 6 hours today. And you're going to treat the people around you like shit because you lost a stupid game, and it's going to influence the rest of your day. And
you haven't been doing the stuff that you that betters you. The time was taken away from stuff, so then you start attacking others around you. But
exactly. So that to me is value.
I think it was a wonderful conversation. I'm excited for these. I'm excited to come back in like 6-8 months, maybe another year. We're rocking this, and we go back and we read what makes someone valuable. And we're like, okay, where are we today? Where have we grown? What have we seen? it's going to be fun coming back to these conversations. But yeah, I mean, another wonderful one in the book.
Absolutely.
Got another one coming next week. I think that we're really progressing well in these, the passion, the individual views. It's just, this is a good thing we got going on right now, man. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man. 2 guys, 1 bite. Tell a friend. Tell a lad.